Back in September of 2015, my dad had been in a very bad motorcycle accident. His right arm had been broken and the bone of his left leg was sticking out of his skin. When we were finally permitted to see him, he wasn't crying because the pain was so bad. No. Instead, with tears in his eyes, he said, "I just can never get ahead." The American healthcare system is so bad that a man with a bone sticking out of his body was more worried about the price to fix the injury than the injury itself. This is something that could happen to anyone at any time and quite possibly ruin their life if they don't have medical insurance or a way to pay for the hospital bills. But if America were to switch to a public healthcare system, every American could get the care they need. Not only would this increase the quality of life, it would also increase the number of workers and boost the economy. In 2018, Americans had spent $3.65 trillion in healthcare alone. With this number in mind, it is easy to see how 56% of Americans have trouble paying for their medical bills. In 2016, a 56-year-old woman named Suzanne Finley was found dead in her apartment because she couldn't go to the doctor. 3 months prior, she had been laid off by Walmart for taking off one more day than what was permitted because she was recovering from pneumonia. Despite knowing the dangers of not receiving medical attention, Suzanne refrained from going to the doctors because she couldn't afford it. Many people today are still putting off going to the doctor. In fact, as of 2020, 33% of uninsured adults in America either delay or deny seeking medical attention because of the cost. This puts people at risk for serious illnesses such as cancer because rather than checking it out and finding it early, they just deal with it until the issue becomes too big to fix. If people had access to affordable healthcare, not only would it potentially save their lives, it would also make it easier to get and maintain employment. According to an article titled "The Relationship Between Work and Health: Findings from a Literature Review," written by Larissa Antonis and Rachel Garfield, being in poor health is associated with an increased risk of job loss or unemployment. People who are too sick to go to work take time off, and if they miss too much time or call in sick too often, they may be fired. Finding a job is very hard in today's world, and after an analysis of the Ohio Medicaid expansion, those who were unemployed and looking for a job said it was easier to do with Medicaid. In Michigan, 55% of those who were enrolled in Medicaid also said that it made it easier to look for a job. If people depend on insurance provided by their job, it could lead to problems once they no longer work for the employer. A study conducted by Paul Froston and Stephen Woodbury found that in 2020, 7.7 million people were laid off from jobs with insurance. If we were to add their dependents, this would leave 14.6 million people without a way to pay for potential hospital bills. While switching to a public healthcare system sounds great, there are still many concerns. Since we would no longer be individually paying the medical bills, we would have to increase taxes to cover the cost of everyone. This would make it harder for the medical field to advance, as it has been, without the large funds they receive from patients. Another issue is that it would increase the wait time to see a doctor since everyone would be able to get help. A solution to this would be to dedicate different hospitals to different things, such as emergencies, screenings, and just regular checkups. We can continue to make important medical advancements by taxing those over a certain tax bracket. If more people had access to affordable healthcare, the benefits outweigh the disadvantages. More people would have jobs, and if the workforce increases, so would our economy, which would make it easier to pay for the increased taxes. Every year, uninsured people miss more work than those who are insured. The result of this is a reduction of the economy by an estimated $260 billion a year. These people are missing work because they are sick and unable to go to the doctor. But if they had access to affordable healthcare, they would be able to make a doctor's appointment and find out exactly what they need to recover swiftly. The faster employees recover from illnesses, the less days they would miss, making the $260 billion in potential economy reduction dwindle down. Rather than spending money on insurance for employees, companies would be able to give the money directly back to them or reinvest it into the company, helping it grow. With the fear of healthcare insurance out of the way, more people would be motivated to start their own business. In fact, small businesses are very important to the U.S. economy. In 2019, small businesses made up of 44% of the U.S. economy activity. Public healthcare would positively affect more than just the healthcare of our nation. Even now, 7 years after my father's accident, he is still paying off his medical bills. Despite still being in pain every day, he refuses to get a checkup to make sure everything's okay because it is too expensive. No one should have to suffer because they can't afford the care they need. Switching to a public healthcare system would ensure that everyone has a chance to be healthy. The health, workforce, and economy of America desperately need a change in the healthcare system we have today. Thank you for listening, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.